Yeah, hey everybody, Dan Fitzpatrick here, stockmarketmentor.com. And I'm looking at Market Surge here, actually the legacy version. I don't know why I look at both. On the other one, we got Bollinger Bands. But I'm just going to kind of do this one cold here. First of all, what does this company do? Okay, it's like they do generic drugs. Basically, they're a generic drug distributor. We'll put it that way. So that's kind of a good growth story. A lot of people taking drugs all the time. I'm one of them. You probably are too. But if we just look at the chart, you can see that this has really been holding support like right around 330. Now, the stock's up at 370 now, so it's definitely closer to resistance than support. But what I'm suggesting is that you take a look at this stock. We're very close to a breakout. If this breaks out above 374.89, that is a really, really good buy signal for you. And the stock will then have been trading sideways for how many months? For all of December, all of January, and basically all of February. So the stock's been forming this little cup pattern for 3 months, which is really ample time to give the stock time to set up and then ultimately move higher. One of the things that I like about it, I mean, you can see all the blue numbers here, which is fine, but they're not exactly knocking it out of the park. Earnings acceleration, sure. 16%. This is year over year on the same quarter last year from March, 20%, 15%, 9. Revenues, single digits, gross margins, not bad. I mean, this is the way this sector is. They don't have really big margins in drug sales. Try food sales. There's like no margin there. But this is what I like about it. If we look here at the up-down volume ratio, this tells you whether institutions are buying or selling. And what this is showing us is that with an up-down, if the up-down volume ratio is 1, that means that it's a push. Up, down, volume's about the same, nobody cares. But the higher this thing goes, the more it reflects institutional buying. It means that the volume on up days is much higher than the volume on down days. And frankly, I mean, it's meaningful if it's a 1.1 or a 1.2, but for this to be a 1.5, that's kind of a big deal. And so that's why I really like this. You can look at the earnings, they're about the same for the last couple of years, really kind of low double digit increases. So my suggestion is wait for the stock to break out. You could say, well, I'll buy it now and get a head start. Not by much. It's 373-ish. Wait for another couple bucks and then go ahead and take that stock. Okay. At least that's what I would do. So members, I did a live session today. Definitely you want to check that out. I actually covered some things on 59-minute trading that I think you'll find interesting. I'm going to be doing more of those sessions. I can't not do them because people really, really dig them, and that's what I'm here for. So that's all I got. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend.